So I bought this e-bike kit about like 2 years ago. It was like the cheapest one on Amazon. I think it was AOSOM, like 180 bucks. It's a front drive kit. I bought it for a bike I built, and then recently I upgraded it to rear drive, and so this kit was kind of left over. So I took this old BMX bike of my daughter's, and what I did is I just stuck the front drive wheel on the rear. Obviously, no room for a chain and pedals, but didn't really need it because it's a pretty powerful kit. And I've just been using it as a test rig, just to kind of learn more about uh, three-phase motors and drives and whatnot. Um, so yesterday I actually added that. I don't know if you saw my other video. I added that shunt, and you can see I did a fantastic high quality job of attaching it to the bike. But it's all just test setup. Um, Try not to judge me too much. I'm sure if you're looking at the job, you're thinking, where did he get such great zip ties? These green, beautiful things. Or else you're thinking it's a hack job. Yes, it is. So what I did, yeah, again yesterday, just I've been running this thing, but I didn't really know how much current it was using and how long my battery was going to last. So I went ahead and, in addition to the motor and the controller that came with it. By the way, of course, I got a little twist grip style. The kit came with a thumb grip, but I of course love the twist grip, so I stuck that on there. That's really all there is e-bike wise on this thing. Um, and then of course I added the shunt and the little meter up here to read the shunt and tell me how much current I was drawing, how many watts and amp hours and stuff I'm using. I just 3D printed a little holder, a little bracket to connect some Schedule 40 1 inch. It's actually pretty strong stuff. I have a friend that did finite element analysis on it, the 3D model and the PVC, just to see if it was going to be strong enough. And he said, believe it or not, with my 240 pounds, it can hold me just fine. Okay, so what I'd like to do today is, yesterday I took the information I needed about the controllers, this controller, and how much current it actually draws when I was using it and stuff. And I'm thinking I'm probably going to swap it out for this other controller I bought a while back. Where's that? It's an EM3EV controller. Um, Also, kind of a normal kind of Chinese style e-bike controller. This one, it has a few. You can actually connect to it. I bought this little kit that goes to like a USB cable, which is really just a USB serial port, and then you can run some software to set and get parameters. But you can set I guess the currents and the ramp ups and the ramp downs and the regions and whatnot. So I kind of want to play with that and learn how that all works. Um, so probably that's what I'm going to be doing today. By the way, the other thing you probably didn't notice on this bike is where the battery is. That's here in the backpack. Just got a nice battery I built up in there and a XT60 connector coming out of it. Works great actually. Uh, Again, super hack job, but what do I care? I'm just enjoying it. I'm just having fun with it. So, all right. So I'm gonna hook up this controller and probably take it for a ride and see how much more or less torque it has, and how much more or less current it flows, and how good of a job it does commutating the motor. Right now, this controller is, when you ride it, especially at low speeds, it's obviously doing like a trapezoidal commutation because you feel it going ding 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 as it goes from phase to phase. Reading the Hall sensors, and I mean that works. It feels pretty smooth at high RPMs, but it's kind of loud and it's definitely clunky when you have a hub motor that doesn't have gears. The motor's moving obviously very slowly, and so you kind of actually need a pretty good controller to control it at those low speeds. And I kind of think the one that comes for nearly free with this, or the super cheap kit, just doesn't hold up. This one I'm putting on is not that much better. But I think I paid 130 bucks for it, and it's got some cool features. It hooks to Cycle Analyst, and it supposedly has much higher current FETs in it. Again, they call this the Infineon controller. I think because it uses Infineon FETs of one, or they have various grades of Infineon FETs. And I think there's sort of like a standard microcontroller that's been like has a standard program that goes into all of these. I'd like to learn more about that. But anyway, I've been talking long enough. Let's go ahead and slam this thing on and go write it. Okay, let's do this. So I stuck the EM3 EV controller on, connected up the phase wires and the Halls, hooked up the connector from the throttle, and actually, interestingly, so the brakes that I'm running, these came with my kit originally too, and they've got a switch for the brake. My original controller didn't have regen, and I didn't really care to do it just to cut out the motor, so I never used them. But I reconnected it on this one. This is just the rear brake. I don't have it hooked up on the front, and that's because, of course, you want to hold the front brake and gas it so you can do burnouts, and then of course you want to be able to. I kind of loosened up the front brake. The switch isn't coming on until about here, so I didn't. This is a little bit looser. I got this one super tight. Okay, already drove it once. I rode it once. This thing is really exciting to me. Having a great time with it. But I figured I'd take it for a ride now, so you can all see it and show you how much current it's pulling. Oh, by the way, speaking of current, this connector here goes to like a speed setting button. So you can jumper neither the center one to neither, and that's speed 2. You jumper the center one to this pin, and it's speed 1, and then the fastest one is how I have it jumpered now. So it's at max torque or max assist if if it was a PAS. And here's my cool battery. Strapping that on. All right. I got my cable hanging. Let's put this thing down and go for a ride. I don't know if I can do this one-handed or not. Notice I got the shunt zip tied to the front now. Far more professional. Really. Okay, so fully charged, 53.9 volts, 0 amps, key on, 135 watt hours. Oh, you know what? Hold on, I'm gonna reset that. Okay, so I pressed this button, held it for a long time, reset the watt hours to 0. That way I got a full charge battery. I can see how many amp hours I get out of this battery. All right, ready? Woo! Kind of got bad brakes and got to open the gate. Get that out of the way. Okay, speed run up the hill. This thing straight hauls ass. It's way too fast. Yep, I'm going up a steep hill right now. See how it goes off-road. All right. I guess I shouldn't try to ride up a dirt hill on an electric bike with one hand. But I almost made it to the top. All right, let's peek this and then I can end the video on a high note. All right, made it to the top. Don't think I'll try and go all the way back down there. When I fell off and unplugged it. Not a crash quite. Awesome. Hey birds.